Hey guys, welcome back to the DND Gaming channel. We are actually going to go over some of the things that technically happened in here. Our friend Qaphsiel has died, so take a moment to pause the video and take a prayer for that. And we're going to be explaining the death. Also, these loss distribution system that I had implemented in the game just in case something like this was going to happen. So let's go with the first thing. Friend Qaphsiel fell hard or died. And I'll explain in a minute how. There is a loss distribution system. The system allowed him to gather some of the equipment and gold and stuff like that, divided it by selling it completely, and then divided it by a certain amount, and it will give a certain amount to that character to start with. And there's only one time you can actually do this. The second time that you actually do it has a penalty, and it's a hefty penalty. So the first time you just get the distribution gold, the character got his distribution gold and is now able to actually make a new character and come in, which we have it on top of here. The second time of the loss distribution does the same thing, but you pick a choice. The first choice is you either go down 3 levels and keep the retribution system, because that amount can add up to it could add up to 50,000, 60,000 in this game, depending how long you're actually journeying out in this game, because of the normal item has a penalty cost on my campaign, because it's kind of easy to get gold in my campaign, and by a lot of them, not like 50, not like 60, like 1,000, 2,000, sometimes even 3,000. In that case, apologies. In that case, the player gets a redistribution for that on the second time, but takes a penalty of 3 levels. And if the character does not want to, he can start brand new as a character during the second time. It's always a choice. And actually, that prevents some of the character from dying on purpose over and over, and using the loss distribution as a exploit. So let's go over how the actual character died. The character got his gold. Let's take this out and go how he died. The first time he flew to the castle, he got a 1 war mage +3 on the really lucky roll, and I actually put a video about that. And basically what happened this time, there was a trap in the chest. It's always harder and harder and harder because the items was going to be much rare. In fact, I don't even want to show what was inside of there, which was very, very, very powerful by the means of gold. So the character opened it up and had to do a saving throw to not be charmed and not be commanded. Failed both saving throw, and the person actually grabbed a bag of holding. And what happened is that the item that was in there was 2 items. There was the bag of holding and the portable hole, and that's where the trap came. If you disarm it, you would have had a free portable hole. If not, you would have to grab that portable hole and put it in your bag of holding if you have one. So the best place sometimes is to always have it's cool to always have a portable hole or bag of holding, because it's great in this campaigns and they're cheap. But there is always a cost, because the DM can always put a trap out there and you have to save it. So what happens is that they put a portable hole in the bag of holding and technically created a wormhole, and to show where the person was actually sent, it was actually Qaphsiel or something like that. I had the pronunciation, but I lost it already. That's stupid. So basically, it's right here, and they were technically he and the dragon was technically attacked to death, and so on. So the character died, and that's what happens when you're not careful. But good news is the loss distribution system, and that allowed him to re-roll the character with the loss distribution gold, which if he died this second time with this character, it will have a penalty on the loss distribution gold, unless he just wants to, and it's hefty also on the lost gold as well. So if you had 20,000, there's a good chance it'll drop it all the way down to 8,000 and so on, but there's a penalty on both. So to go over this character, which I took the time today in the morning, it's 10:12 a.m. and I took the time to actually read it. Before yesterday, I was way too tired to even pay attention. I just told me, yeah, whatever, keep it there, anything like that. Now I'm able to see what the character can do, and I think it's going to be one of the strongest character in the game. And we're going over that real quickly. Let's just go over the level of the character is level 7. It is a gnome barbarian level 5 and a rogue 2. This allowed them to have a lot of savings in here, which is the one from, I think this is from the barbarian, the danger thing. And going to have the gnome's advantage initial magic for it, and it's also going to have a saving for wisdom throws in here. Plus, later on in the game, when he actually introduced the game with the background and everything like that, he will be able to receive the seal by sharing one of the old dudes in the background is going to die, technically saving him from Amaresh, destroying the seal of Amaresh in his hand and sacrificing his life for it, and then so the old dude is going to be from the storyline is going to be dead, and basically that will allow him to get the seal of freedom, but still needs the charges, and the charges can be passed down by the comrades. So he's probably going to get +1 to all saving throws in here, and he's going to get +1 to all ability check for going the path they went through. So let's go for some of the items, and this is actually one of the things that can be very problematic. He was very excited for his character, like really goddamn excited, but here's the problematic that can come from some of the items depending on where you buy them and stuff like that. I just let it go through to see how it works. This campaign majority is for them to also have fun, but at the same time for me to learn things can happen, so that I may see some restriction here and there on my other campaign that's going to be in the future from my friends. What's up, Dark Magic? So basically he got the animated shield, and if you actually were to the same price, he also has some on top of here that he goes by, and the same price for it, the sharpness is like 1,700. I apologize, I don't know why I'm coughing so much today. No, I do not have the coronavirus. And basically that is very cheap, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of people getting angry about the same price and so on, and the way I actually explain it to someone is that these prices are depending on your campaign, so you have to adjust them. For now, I only may have increased it a bit and so on, and the reason that is because in a normal campaign, sometimes you just get like 50 gold, 20 gold, plus silver and copper, and you don't even get that high. And so getting items around here for 5,000 to 6,000 is really rare, while getting from my campaign is a little bit more of uncommon, or can be, yeah, uncommon, because you can get up there. Someone got up to like a 10,000, and they went ahead and bought the ogre's power and so on. So for this right here, you may actually go through here, and I know he has a setup in here for this, but the one that is pretty cool is that you can actually also look at the DMG price and the DMPG price and the DMG, and this is actually looks more of my flavor, the 42,000 and the 50,000. Is that? Yeah, and the 50,000. 5,000 to 50,000, but at the moment I allow him to keep some of the items that he has in there, and the reason that is because of the way things are set up for my campaign. So if I put here animated shield, you see it costs like a 6,000, which is in the same price, also in the DMG price, but it costs much more in a DMG price, DMPG. DMG price for this one, which is can go from 5,000 to 50,000 depending on your campaign and so on. Short story short, he actually has an animated shield, he has a scimitar sharpness, has a figurine of wounders, and he has the sword of wounding. And the next time he dies, is either he takes the penalty of 3 levels, or the penalty from the lost distribution, because it's a penalty on the 2nd level, or he just starts at what level he is, 7, 8, 9, whatever, with the starting items, and usually they don't like to start like that, but it goes the way it is. So this character is going to be, to me, after looking at the character, going back to D&D, D&D Beyond, sorry, the Roll20, and trying things to figure out what is what, because I see there's 14 in here, and that's a scimitar 14. After a while I start seeing the 14 no matter how much I increase the number by different. So you see down here the name of Divine Dion, and then you see Astion's Magaflesh, which is his character, and then I did it one on a Bardock, which critted and stuff like that, and again on the Bardock, and I see nothing up here on the right side. And then I noticed that is the sneak attack. The sneak attack is on the right side. That's the reason why I increased the level to I can have it roll 86 but I can't see this right here. And then on his character, it's rolling a 1d6 because of 5 level into barbarian and 2 level into rogue. So I'm using right here the a stadium arena, which I'm still adjusting. It's supposed to be like kind of a little bit in the end of PvP-ish. Kind of like a PvP-ish with everybody NPC, and then at the end, where if the character fight each other, they may win an extra additional prize. That would be the last PvP. It's very hard for IA to have a balanced PvP. So what the character actually going to probably here is probably, to me, I would love to play this character because I feel it's going to be one of the strongest character depending on what the DM allows you to have. At the moment, he has the feat that I allowed is the aberrant dragon mark, and that actually allowed him to have the booming blade, and he also can use the feather fall, but he has the booming blade on his scimitar of sharpness, so on his weapon. So on the scimitar weapon, he's going to be able to use booming blade, which is at now it will be a 2d6. I have to actually -3 because the booming blade does not have add a modifier. So if you actually go right here, you can see that it says 2d6 at level 5, or 1d8 and 1d8 and 2d8 at level 5. So basically, I would do this is he will go in here, roll the weapon, I'll roll it for you. Let's see if it hits. Alright, if it hits, basically he will do 7 slashing plus 3. Let's actually do this 2 more times. Back into roll 20. So the other hit would be 8 plus 4 if it hits, and that's a really good one right there. That's a good roll. And the last one is going to be probably the best roll ever because he's critting 5 plus 4. He hit with a 20, so it'll hit with 14 damage. Oh no, actually he has to roll another d20. I'm sorry. Every single time he attacks, he needs to roll the d20. So let's roll like, you know what? Let's roll like 3 d20 for all the 3 attacks and so on. So none of these actually is a 20, so he doesn't get the 14 out of this. So it'll be 5 plus 4, and then that's a low roll on his dice thing right here, which is 1d6 plus 3, but it's not at the moment. It looks like it's not adding the crit damage for it. No, it is. It is. So 1d6 plus 3. It is adding the crit damage. So that is what his character is going to be doing, and it's kind of great because the way his character is set up. His AC is at the highest. He has plus 10, does have plus 3 to dexterity because of read it down here, and basically he's a rogue, so he adds his armor bonus, unarmor bonus, plus 3, and then his shield plus 2. So right now he'll have an 18. He'll use the animate shield to, I think, drop it into the air. If I actually click the over here, you can actually see it. So you lift it up in the air by speaking a command as a bonus action, and then now you have you can sheath your sword, which is a sword of wounding, and now you can actually attack. You attack with just your main on the first turn, and then on your second turn you'll be able to attack twice on your main because you're a barbarian. So you attack 2 times on your main, and then on the next turn you'll be able to do 2 attacks with your main weapon, and then you do 1 hand off without the modifier, which would be the sword of wounding. So you look like most likely he might pick the dueling feat, because it will add a +1 more to its AC, and this doesn't have a max, so the more he has on his dex, the higher his armor grenade. So in all honesty, it'll provide the best character for this campaign. Right now, the best character was Dagon. Kind of still maybe it is at the moment, but I think as tank providing and attack damage, I'm going to go with Alston's character, which is Chris' character. And let's go over why. First, let me actually take out these thing up here, and let's go over why. First, he has sneak attack plus booming blade. So the booming blade is when they move, basically they do 2d8 damage, and he's always going to be probably applying that because he's going to do an attack and an extra attack on his main weapon, which is a scimitar. So he's always going to be able to apply that into this weapon. He has high AC because of multi-classing, has the barbarian and has rogue, so both of them may add like the wisdom from, I think it's from the rogue, and the barbarian adds something from itself, which is I think dexterity or something like that. He is now a versatile fighter, and probably one of the best fighter at the moment with the multi-classes, because he can have the shield and put it up in the air, has 2 weapon fighting style because of the animated shield, and boom blade because of the aberrant dragon feet. Not only that, he has plus extra attack. So as a barbarian, he goes ahead and attacks again, and as a bonus action, you don't add your modifier because you're not a fighter. You didn't pick your 2 fighting weapon style and so on. So it doesn't really matter because adding it still does damage, and it still goes right ahead and does the wounding if you actually hit it with the sword of wounding, and it does also some necrotic damage, 1d4 I think. You are the ultimate tank because you rage. And the reason that is because he actually picked the totem spirit, and I'll probably go back into the character and show you the whole list of the features so you can actually see it. He picked totem spirit, which means that makes him the ultimate tank. The bearer gives him the resistance to all damage except psychic. So the only way to actually hurt him really badly is to input character psychic, which hilariously last battle there was a one-tune a cat that literally does a DC for a charisma, and when it attacks you and succeeds, if it's a fail, it's 1d8 plus 10. But I lowered it down to plus 5 for now, and it stunts on a successful, which is a 3d8 plus 10. But again, I took out the stun because it was just too powerful. One of the character wasn't able to make it, so I adjust the things. Even with that, it was still damaging to the point it almost brought someone to a 0 HP. I had low rolls onto it, and you know, there it is. So it makes you the ultimate raging tank in this game, plus you get all the benefits of raging. He has heal deficiencies, which is basically the sword of wounding. So that means if there's a healer out there in the background and stuff like that, and he's healing the paladin or in the front, an enemy paladin or a enemy whatever it is in the front, this guy can actually go ahead and stop that healing completely and shut it down. There's a lot of saving throws, including the future seal saving throw and ability checks, and this is the reason is because he is a gnome. He has a lot of advantage of it. The seal gives you like 1+ to all your saving throws, and these next seal that they got a +1 to all the ability check, which at the moment, let's see, it makes I'll say that a little bit more later. For next thing is an easy way to hit with a reckless attack. And the cool thing about that is that even if you wanted to like hit with one of your attacks and do a lot of good damage, especially with your sneak attack and so on, you can use the reckless. You get advantage on it. You might be able to even to crit. And the cool part about this is on your you know, for future you can use on canine dodge, which again I wrote it right here as you can use your dodge to minimize damage in the future, as well as evasion with a successful to reduce AoE damage. So if someone was always to hit him real hard, like for 40 damage or something like that, then he can use Arcanine Dodge and go ahead and drop it to like 20 damage. So there's 2 things. The Arcanine Dodge will allow him, I think, in my personal opinion, because I don't do double resistance or anything like that, so most likely it will be to be fully resistant with the psychic damage. The next thing is that he does have high specify ability checks, because he has rogue expertise. That's allow him to pick 2 at a lower level and gain a high ability check for it. For now, like I wrote in here, this allows his chosen ability check like perception to be the highest, not higher than one of the rogue, but he is literally by 1 point. And with the +1, I'm pretty sure that'll actually add him to an 18 on his passive perception, let alone rolling something that that has a perception of a 8, I would say. Yep. Does have sleight of hand on 9, which that'll become 10, and that depends on the seal of freedom that he actually received. So this is just a little small thing for you guys to see it and so on, but let us go to right here to the features so you can see a little bit more character. Perception, athletic, that's what he chose. I think for his barbarian has rage. There he is. Race is a bonus action, which is pretty cool. Unarmored defense is AC 10 plus dexterity plus con modifier. And I thought the rogue had it on wisdom though. Maybe it's not adding that, or maybe it needs to go a little bit higher and stuff like that. He gets a reflex attack, so that would be, you know, this advantage on strength and so on. But the attack roll, he has advantage on his next turn. You have danger sense, primal path. He is going to choose the bear down here, and that gives him wall rage, and you have resistance to all damage except psychic. He is going to choose defeat, which is the Baron Dragon Mark, and that's he chose 2 spells, and one is the Booming Blade to attack with his scimitar. He is going to have the roll features down here, which again, he has fast movement, so he's faster than pretty much everyone at the moment. He's not going to go any more levels into Barbarian, he's going to go straight level into Rogues. So he has his little proficiency here with expertise tools and stuff like that. Sneak attack coming in. He's going to put everything on the rogue, so he's going to try to increase his sneak attack higher and higher and higher and higher. These cunning action. Here's his threshold straight that I was talking about. The gnome cunning has a super dark vision of 120 feet, which is extremely excellent because he can actually technically see darkness as dim light, and anything that is dim light. So it will be as bright light. So if there is a whole room covered in dim light, he technically seeing that room as bright light. Stone camouflage, so you have advantage of dexterity, strength, and all that stuff. And here's a feat. So that's pretty much it. It's very easy to actually see some stuff here, and I actually had to test everything in here, plus his sword by adding it into the here. And again, here's a little rage thing, so you guys can see what it does. But the total make this a little much better. So this is a new character, Alston. I am not going to pronounce that last name. I'm just going to call him Alston. So Alston is going to be the new character. Rip Qaphsiel, and welcome Alston. Hopefully nobody else dies and stuff like that. Well, technically everybody else can have the loss, but hopefully the character does not die again this time and is a little bit more careful, and that will be the end of the video.